It's Saturday, April 22nd, 2017, and unfortunately, this is the season finale of the post-game show known as Teal Town After Dark for the 2016-17 season. Have we seen one era end and another era begin? So, well, we'll talk about that. We'll go over the game and we'll talk about a pretty decent 2016-17 season tonight, and we'll get as many of us on as possible through the next probably hour and a half. But nonetheless, this is your live interactive Sharks post-game show. So, of course, if you want to make sure to hit subscribe down below or hit to the side, make sure you also hit up tealtownusa.com for all your news and opinions about the Sharks. And, of course, don't forget the Barracuda are still in the playoffs. They've only played one game, so they're still in there. You can still rock your teal in San Jose, folks. But also make sure you follow all of our social media channels. Nonetheless, if you want to be a part of the show, of course, as always, join the Chompversation. Chat with us and Sharks fans in the YouTube chat on the page or app. You can use the hashtag TealTownUSA, and you can follow all of us on Twitter at the handles below. All right. Well, this is kind of my first time at this. I was at the arena last year for Game 6, so I don't know how to do all this, but yikes. The Sharks lose 3-1 to the Edmonton Oilers. Oilers win the series 4-2. Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Kura. You can follow me on Twitter at PuckGuy14. And I have many of us to go around tonight. But first, we're going to say hello to the lovely and talented, the teal-haired herself, looking exquisite as always, Miss Rocket Backhander.
Hello.
Hello, my dear. And also joining us, actually still on jet lag, Chris JWS.
And also looking exquisite.
Sure, why not? It's the last post game.
It's the end of the season. What the hell? Why not?
Why the fuck not? All right. No beating around the bush. The Sharks lose 3-1. 2 breakaways essentially cost them the game. Can't say they were both 5-hole, but they definitely hurt. But Rocket, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on a sad way to end the 2016-17 season?
Yeah, this wasn't something that happened overnight, so we had a little bit of, a little bit of a window to mentally, emotionally prepare for this moment, and they completely did the Sharks thing, and sharked. So bad mistakes that they made previous, the complete and utter wet paper kindling that was the power play and most of the offense this year finally came and asked for all that money that the rest of the Sharks had been owing them, and they paid up tonight. It was what it was. Thus concludes the end of the season. I'm not real stoked on it, but I'm also not surprised with it either. But today isn't going to last forever. There's tomorrow, and then there's next season. And saw a lot of the kids on the ice in these last couple of games that I think are going to have real potential to be super studs next season. So,
absolutely,
yeah.
Chris, good evening, sir. What did you take from tonight?
Rocket said it best. It's not like we didn't see this coming. I didn't know if it'd be in the first round or the second round, but I just didn't think they had enough offensively, and it cost them in the end. Not enough power play, not enough offense in general, and really tonight, not getting too much in the game, but they couldn't get a bounce to save their life tonight either.
Wow.
Like it just, they hit I think I counted 4 posts. It was, and that's when it caught. It reminded me entirely too much of Game 3 where it was 2 shorthanded goals in that one instead of 2 breakaways. but just couldn't get it done in a game that was otherwise very close. Couldn't get it done.
Yeah, no, it couldn't get done, and unfortunately for Pavelski, he had a double post shot, which gives me shivers and shades of 1994 all over again. Oh, God, just ridiculous. I don't know, just crazy. Lots of people going into chat. We'll kind of talk about what's next for Team Teal, as there's a lot of uncertainty going on here. I don't know. Anything else you guys want to add about the game tonight?
Nothing in particular. I mean, at this point, a lot of it's really a moot point. This play, that play. The season's over. I think the really thing about the game is we may have seen the last game in Teal by Thornton and Marlowe, one or both of them. That's the crazy thing to think of, is that it really could be the end of that era.
Yeah. No, and go ahead, Rocket.
No, I don't think it is. I think it should be. I think this would be a good time to cut the cord, cleanly move on to the next chapter of our life. But we all know that's not how Doug Wilson rolls. So this whole old man saga is going to roll out for at least another 2 seasons. I don't know how, but they're going to stick around at, 1 or 2 years past their goodbye. And if this was their best buy date, then they've got another 2 years on the club still. I don't know why everybody's screaming rebuild when they know that Doug Wilson does not. He doesn't, not at the appropriate time. So if everybody else is saying this is the appropriate time, I know that it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think we're due for another mini rebuild a la 2 years ago, because I mean they did retool and get the pipeline fixed up pretty well 2 years ago, but I think there's going to have to be another step back, really, because right now we have a lot of talent in the pipeline, but as Ian has pointed out before, we don't have like a lot of really high-end talent as far as the forwards go. I mean, defense, we're not in trouble, but I mean, we have the whole off season. This should be pointed out. If you're new here, subscribe. We will be doing this all off season as well. We'll talk about the draft. We'll talk about free agency, all this fun stuff.
Not as consistency after every game, but
yeah, we're not going to be here every other night. I think we're all ready for a break. It's been a fun grind. We really enjoy doing this, but yeah, I think we're all pretty ready to take a little break. It's not quite the grind it was last year, but it's been fun.
Yeah, no, I think this is consecutive show number 203 after every Sharks game. So
wow,
yeah, it's been crazy. It's going to be quite interesting to see how this team moves on. They have a lot of free agents going on. Of course, Thornton and Marlowe are the big ones to think about. You down the depth chart, you're thinking Donskoy, Sorensen, Carlson. That's going to be interesting as well. Funny thing at Marlowe, and I don't know if this is one of those, maybe this is predictable, one of those ironic twists of fate, but Marlowe scores the final goal of the season at 12:12 of the third period.
Illuminati confirmed.
Yes, I mean just kind of ironic.
So I'm seeing a lot of things on the chat and Twitter, both. A couple of things that kind of bug me. One, I've seen this shows that last season was a fluke. Last season was last season. Just if you look at the number of teams that go to the finals, even if they win and then get back the next year, it doesn't happen very often, even for the winners, let alone the losers.
Right.
It's hard to get there one time, let alone multiple times. So no, last season was not a fluke. Last season was just last season. It happened, and it's in a vacuum. We had the health, we had the right matchups. The stars kind of aligned for the Sharks up to a point. Unfortunately, it didn't align all the way. But yes, in some ways, they were a little lucky last year. But most teams that go to the finals and win the finals are somewhere between a little and a lot lucky. So no, it doesn't invalidate what happened last season at all. this season. They lost to a pretty damn good Oilers club. I'm not going to say everything's great and everything's rosy. They didn't lose to a bad team. This is a good team. This is pretty close. This is pretty close to the result I was thinking. My head was saying Oilers in 6. My heart ended up winning the day and saying Sharks in 7. But there's a reason why I felt that way, because the Oilers are a good club, and there's no shame in losing to them. We don't want to ever lose to another club, but it's not like we lost to an inferior opponent here. So that's something that's bugging me a little bit. Like, unfortunately, this is why we watch sports. If it was easy to win all the time, would we actually want to watch it? Is it that interesting? So.
Yeah, we would watch it, because then we would complain about, like, well, I could do that. That's really easy to do.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking, WWE. Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I thought you were still going.
No. I just got off my soapbox. I'm not going to go too long in that, because I'm sure I'll get plenty of argument on that one, but whatever.
Yeah. No. It's going to be interesting now. And I'll ask you guys this, because this is something that's been in my head. Allen Americans advanced to the second round tonight, beating, I believe it was Utah. The Barracuda just played their first game last night.
They looked so good.
They looked really good. 4-0. If anything, please, and then I beg you, and this is not a sponsor or anything, by all means, please go out and support the San Jose Barracuda. I hate to say it, but I don't really hate to say it, but
no, I don't hate to say it. It's the future of the Sharks.
It's the future of the Sharks. But the question is it okay for your minor league team to win it all in the same town before your major league team wins it all?
Why not?
Yeah.
Did someone write a rule a long time ago I wasn't aware of? I honestly, who gives a shit? Just to be perfectly blunt, it doesn't matter. It means literally nothing.
It would be different if it were like, okay, so Todd McClellan left the Sharks to coach the Barracuda in San Jose, and then won the Calder Cup in San Jose with the Barracuda, but never with the Sharks. Then maybe it would be kind of comparable. But no, this is it's a completely different system, a whole new coaching staff, all that other junk that came over from Worcester, and then most of them got cleared out. So no.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, for crying out loud, Seattle apparently, Gen X likes to remind us Seattle has a cup and they don't even have a damn team. So there's all kinds of oh, well, this can't be right. It's like, yeah, in the end, whatever. I only worry about what other NHL teams that still exist, Gen X, do. Yeah, I'm sure he's mouthing off in the chat there as he always likes it. Everyone tell Dr. Jackal he's a terrible person.
Oh, geez. Now, let's not get that going here. It was game 1 of the year.
I'm trying to turn 90 viewers against him.
Oh but he did say it was game 1 of the AHL playoffs. There's a few more games before they award the Calder Cup. Oh, sure,
Whatever.
of course. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, it's something to get it done. Chester Chivo saying Vegas gets a cup before the Sharks. Oh, Chester, come on.
I doubt that. Vegas is going to be in a similar situation to the Sharks, where they're going to get a lot of good defense, goaltending, and bottom 6 and second line forwards. They're not going to have a lot of top line talent. But he did make a good point in the chat, though, saying the Sharks really undid themselves a long while back when they blew a 9-point lead in the division.
Yep.
Honestly, though, I wouldn't have been surprised if the Flames could have taken them out as well. Just their sheer lack of firepower. I mean, this might feel a little better because I think the Sharks were a little out over their skis when they were leading the division. It wasn't because they were so good. It was because the other teams had faltered, really. I mean, I'm not trying to dump on the Sharks. I just think, they didn't really have it this year. They weren't that great of a team this year. They were good enough to get in the playoffs.
No, they weren't. I mean, they really fell apart the latter quarter of the season. the power play was just craptacular since November.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, let's be real here. It's like outside game 4, it's like, can we count how many power play goals we have on our hands? It
Yeah.
seems like, it's
You had lowered production out of your entire top six. Like, and you can't. And then the injuries.
you
Oh, the injuries.
oh gosh, and you gotta wonder what's next. So
Dental surgery is what's next. Logan probably is calling his little dental surgeon right now and being like, "Hey, bud, let's get my teeth all fixed so I can go golf." He's got baseball season to go root for too.
I've said, his mouth is screwed up when it looks worse than it did before.
Oh man, I feel okay. Just I can't wait to see what his little chiclets look like in October. He's gonna look great.
So,
we'll have
the
plenty of
link
time, so
link
that's
the link
good.
has been shared now. We're gonna have other hosts start filtering in here because I mean we can only go about this so many different ways.
True.
We're gonna kind of do a little free form here, probably talking in retrospect of the season, what comes next. We have a lot of people will probably be saying thank you to a half dozen to a dozen
Yeah.
times, especially anyone who's watching right now. Thank you so much for watching. I see 96 viewers. It's awesome. We appreciate the support so much. And we've said it 1,000 times. You're probably sick of hearing it. We remember when we only had like a couple, like 2 or 3 people watching, and it's amazing to see this many people. And it's so cool. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. If you like, if you don't, that's fine. It's all good. I should also point out, we are well aware, or I'm well aware because I analyze the statistics and the numbers and all that fun analytic stuff Google gives us. I'm well aware we've had a very large contingent of Oilers viewers here. Yep. We appreciate you guys as well. Like, there have been some of you have been really cool in the chat. There's been some trolls, but a lot of you have been really cool and have said some really nice things. So we do appreciate you checking us out, and I've seen a good number of you subscribed as well, because I can see when suddenly Oilers games, we get a lot more traffic from Canada. So it's really cool. We do appreciate you guys as well. We appreciate all the Sharks fans, anyone really, like just anyone who's supporting us. It's awesome. And yeah, we appreciate it so much. And yeah, especially people I should mention really quick, Laurel, Gen X, Chester, all you guys in the chat who kind of keep the dialogue civil in there as much as possible. So with that, let's get back to talking about the game and the season and everything like that.
We got a couple people jumping on. Ian and AJ. I'll start off with Ian. Hello, good sir. What did you first take from tonight and overall for the season?
I mean, it was an interesting season. It was really an up and down season, and the way they went into the playoffs didn't really inspire much confidence. And hey, this is like maybe one of like 2 series so far I've gotten my bracket right. So yay, broken bracket.
Yeah, damn you people who picked the Oilers. AJ, what did you take from tonight?
I picked the Oilers in 6. But hey, recognize the shirt, baby. Nice. Rhinos. Only because it was mentioned in the chat earlier.
They're the first. They were the first professional sports team to win a championship in San Jose. And then you had the Quakes and the Sabercats. Hell, you had the Women's United Soccer Association's Cyber Rays win a championship. So outside the Sharks, Barracuda, and the old women's basketball Lasers, everybody else has won it all in their league when they played in San Jose. Well, then I know I take it back. Stealth, I don't think won anything. But what do you think comes next? I'll start with you, Ian.
I mean, that's the billion jillion dollar question right now. I honestly, I don't know. I mean, it hasn't been I'm still processing that the season's over, right? And I mean, I still got a lot of Barracuda stuff to cover, so I haven't completely shifted to off season mode yet. To me, I don't know what does happen. I feel though that I think it's time to rip off the Band-Aid, and I know this is going to get me a lot of hate in the chat. I know people want to see Marlowe and Thornton retire Sharks, but
at Ian Blogs Hockey, people.
Yeah,
at
Ian Blogs Hockey. Just fire away on Twitter. You can tell me how terrible a person I am, but listen. The Sharks are trending into this dangerous territory now where I'm worried about them being a perennial, wild card 3 seed perennial out team where you're not really a threat to go anywhere, and you're not bad, you're just kind of there.
Right.
And if you look at all these other teams that have done well, they're not doing it with their offense going through their offense going through 2 38-year-olds, 37-year-olds. Like, at some point, we got to pull the Band-Aid off here. We got to, it's going to be painful. I'm not saying it's going to be this easy and it's going to be this great thing, but at some point you have to pull the Band-Aid off. And I think that this is the time you do it. And I know that's going to be frustrating for people. And, I'm not saying I want them to tank. I'm not saying tank. Don't completely stripped to the bones. I'm just saying, you got some younger guys. You still got Couture. Pavelski's still around for a while, so you ride that out and make a decision based on how he does. And obviously you re-sign Vlasic. You have Burns for the next 100 years at $8 million, so he's not going anywhere. You keep Hurdle. I mean, there's guys there that you're going to keep, but I think you have to start becoming a tomorrow team.
AJ, what do you think next for Team Teal?
I was straight gonna go hockey jerk. I think. What do I think about what? No. I mean, look. Is there another team that anybody can think of that since 03, 04, basically since the lockout back in 04, 05, is there any other team that has gone to the playoffs every year but one since that lockout?
Sure, some
Detroit.
Detroit.
But I'm including this season though.
And maybe even freaking Chicago's probably gotten close a couple of times, except right after the lockout.
But that's what I'm saying is I don't know that I can't think of another team, maybe in the chat, if you include this season. Is there any other team since that lockout season that has gone to the playoffs every season? I guess you say, okay, Detroit,
of course.
Okay,
for sure.
I go, okay, so fine, put in Detroit. But I mean the Sharks. I mean, give it up for Doug Wilson, I guess. I mean, the team that he's GM'd, over the course of his entire tenure, with the exception of that one season. And let's be honest, that season was burned down by a tumultuous February. We all remember the whole end of January where we couldn't hear Wilson talk enough about the 3 consecutive wins against Chicago, LA, and Anaheim. And then they just had that horrific February that just the playoffs melted away. But I mean, and again, at AJ_strong, and you can, at me to death after you've finished burning down Ian's timeline. I'm in the same boat. I'm just kind of like, I feel like, and I don't think anything really is going to change, but I feel like it needs to change. And this is not, oh my God, it's just because they lost and you're pissed off and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not that, man. It's just a fact of, we've seen this dog and pony show for so long and under Doug Wilson. And clearly he's had success. I mean, like I said, you'd be hard pressed to find another GM. Now, okay, here's another question. During that stretch that Detroit had, did they have the same general manager over that entire time?
Yeah, they've had Kenny Holland there forever.
Okay, well, clearly winning a cup will get you some extra time or two. But
how long has he been at GM? Do you guys know?
Well, I'm
until
sure
he keels
yeah,
over or retires. I
yeah.
think it's gonna be.
Gen X will post up how long he's been around,
Oh, he's been
but
there since the '80s, man. He's been
yeah.
there since the '80s.
So uh, there's one guy who's been able to get it done consistently. With Doug Wilson, I think we've seen Doug Wilson try some different strategies. We've seen him trade away, top picks to get rentals, whether it's, Bill Guerin, Billy Campbell. I mean, just pick your poison. But it hasn't worked for the Sharks. Then we saw that there's the whole we're going to take a step backward to take a step forward, and there was trading Clough and Doug Murray, and we're going to start building picks and build with kind of bring it up from within, which it definitely seemed like it was on the road to the right path. But maybe one of the things Wilson should have done as part of that whole thing was to move either Thornton or Marlowe to get some really high value. Right now, can Wilson get anything for those guys? Because their deal ends July 1st, right? So unless I just don't know what the Sharks are going to do.
But in fairness, though, if he had traded them at the trade deadline when we were first in the division, we would have all come on here and burnt the freaking city down.
We would have burned it down, but I'm saying, but maybe I don't think we would have burned it down if Wilson is able to move Marlowe and Thornton after missing the playoffs a couple years ago.
But there's no. I mean, that's what's done is done. I mean, at the time here, we're going to lose them for nothing. But if they are gone, but I mean,
no, but you get what I'm saying is that if it's the idea of that if you trade them and get good value for them after a year where they miss the playoffs, I don't think we're burning Wilson in effigy quite nearly as much. And I also think at that point we kind of were just like, we were talking about it back then. Like, it's time to move on. The whole Bill Walsh theory, get rid of a guy a year too soon rather than a year too late. And I think the Sharks, to a certain extent, have missed that window. And the other thing that somebody pointed out on Twitter is, if you just put like the last 3 seasons or 4 seasons all in like this condensed window, you have the reverse sweep. Then you have missing the playoffs. Then you have 2 wins away from winning the cup, and then followed up with a first round bounce. And couple that with, oh, by the way, we're also increasing the ticket prices, some of them by ludicrous amounts. We're totally going after this 365 thing. And dude, there were plenty of seats. They were giving away seats to tonight's game. I mean, the playoffs. And you're giving away, and we're not talking a few. Like, there was a few people that like were handed seats. I was offered seats from a friend of the show that actually won tickets tonight. He won not even just a pair. He won 4 tickets tonight. All because he posted a picture of himself in a mohawk. Now, that's great that the Sharks are cool enough to do that, but it really goes to show that the demand for the tickets are just not there. They really haven't been. You would have hoped that going the 25th anniversary season and getting that close to a cup might have like triggered the infection and got everybody teal fever again, and it really hasn't. Like, that reverse sweep is still felt throughout the fan base, and I think they're just fed up. And there's a decent amount that are just like, they're done with Wilson, they're done with Thornton, they're done with Marlowe. Like, they want to see huge change before they come back, and upping your ticket prices that's not the way to go. They're pricing themselves out right now.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, is it really I just think it's, from my understanding of it, and we all know Ian's not local, but I mean, the way it just feels like it's, is it really the hockey side that's driving people away, or the business side? I think it's more the business side, but I mean, that's, again, I'm not there. So that's just my outside looking in view. Go ahead, Eric.
No, it's the concern is, where do you go from here? Yeah, and if you were to take away Thornton and Marlowe and have this team go as it's been, okay, you're making progress. question is that, Pavs is getting up there in age. You have Ward, you have Martin. Do you say, guys, if you want to go, we'll try to find something for you, and then go from there?
Like
Remember,
there's a few that you have to work with.
But the thing is that this organization has never had a 5-year plan. I mean, they had the 2 years in at the Cal Palace, which were awful. I mean, if you think the pain from
that was
2014
completely
awful.
different management
Sure,
ownership, though. We
sure.
shouldn't
No,
really. That's
but
not
what
worth bringing up, is
no,
it?
but my point is through the years they've always had some form of success or some form of playoff success. They've never had the long droughts that they had, and that's great for the organization. However, you have youngsters coming up. Are we just going to roll with those go up, or are we going to try to do we keep Thornton and Marlowe around for a year or two until the kids are completely ready?
But there's the problem is here's the problem with Thornton and Marlowe. Like I think you have to rip the Band-Aid off and let them go. But there's nobody. It doesn't matter. There's nobody in the system that is going to replace Joe Thornton, even at
he's
this
a generational player. I mean,
right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. No one's going to replace that. And let me just address something real quick, and I'll give it back to you, Ian. On the chat, saying Edmonton tonight sold out Rogers Place to watch the game on the jumbotron. That's some shit. Yeah, well, exactly. But that's some shit that we saw at the Tank in '94 when the Sharks went on their very first run and they opened up for every playoff game. Yeah, that shit was full. But exactly, that's the whole thing. It's like, yeah, that's great for you that you've sold out your snazzy new arena to watch an away game on the jumbotron, and that's going to happen when you're in Canada, haven't been to the playoffs in a decade, and have literally nothing else sports-wise going on. You got to realize there's 6 other pro teams here fighting for the sports dollar, and the Sharks have had a good time taking a decent amount of that dollar, but I think at this point fans are
you look at on the Oilers point, they sold $80 tickets so you could stand in the concourse, not even see the game, just to be in the arena. And I like the last game, that was like the concourse looked just packed. Like it's a different country. Look, I live here, I understand it. It's different. If that's your measure, like, I don't think that's a fair expectation for San Jose. And
no, absolutely not.
No, I'm just saying that for the benefit of the viewers more than anyone on this panel, because I think we all know, right? I feel like, it's a different expectation. You can't apply those standards to San Jose. Look, San Jose does have a decent fan base. I talk to a lot of very passionate Sharks fans every bloody day. And I'm sure now that, this has happened, I'm going to talk a whole bunch more. But going back to the Thornton Marlowe thing, look at Marlowe. I think, Marlowe had a good year. He had a career, like, not a career year, but he did
27 goals, 19 assists.
He wasn't terrible. It wasn't like Marlowe last year. I was ready to just drag him behind the truck for a few hours and, waited until he went peacefully. But this year, he had a good year, a contract year, obviously, and I think that does bear pointing out. But
hold on, let me add something too. Not only did he have a decent year, but he played on 3 different lines this year, both winger, both center. He was moved like he was the piece to try to fix every jigsaw puzzle that the Sharks had this season.
Yeah. But Marlowe's never going to be consistent. Obviously, yeah, and his years are inconsistent. Scores are streaky. We know this. The thing is, though, is there might not be anyone in the system to replace them tomorrow. But the problem is you don't want to become that team. You don't want to. Do you really want to be the end of the Detroit Red Wings, where you make the playoffs, you get bounced in the first round, you're not going anywhere? At least the Red Wings, they have some players that they're developing, and I think that their development system's still pretty top notch. But you just couldn't replace all-star Hall of Fame talent. That happens. And I think the Sharks are in the same boat. I don't want to see the Sharks be this team that holds on to Marleau and Thornton for a little bit of fan service, plays them like their top line players still. That's the other problem, because the offense still goes through Joe Thornton. No one really gets the chance. Couture, and I don't know if Couture is a for sure number one center. I've always kind of seen him as a 1A, but he's never had that opportunity to run that top line. And that is, if you're going to keep Thornton around, that's going to be a problem going forward.
Well, and another point to make too with that, as somehow I feel like I've lost you. Oh, there you are. And I think another point to make is, and this is something that a friend of mine asked me a few weeks ago. Who would you rather be? Would you rather be the San Jose Sharks since 1999, or since 1999, would you rather be the Dallas Stars? And it's like, win a cup and then be kind of here and have a couple times where you go to the playoffs, but for the most part, not really into it? Or would you rather be the Sharks where you have a chance every year? And everybody I know say, I'd rather be the Dallas Stars because they won one.
Yeah. I mean, I like,
because that's what it comes to. That's what it comes. I hear you.
I like playoff hockey with a rooting interest. I think but they won one. Do I want the Sharks to win? For sure, I'd like them to win a cup. But I don't. You know what? I got to watch a lot of playoff hockey, and I'm very fortunate to have done so. The one thing that's been fortunate about being a Sharks fan for this long, I mean, I've been a Sharks fan since day one, but in this current era, there's always a year where maybe I've been a little more cynical near the end, but I always went into every season thinking I had a chance. I didn't wake up and be like, oh my God, I'm, an Atlanta Thrashers fan and we're doing squat. And I know it from game one. Like, at least there's hope there. And I can't imagine not having that hope coming in. And then, knowing your season's a loss before it even starts. Like, I don't know why anyone would trade that. Like, I don't know. That's just me.
Ian is the Reverend Jackson of the broadcast. Keep hope alive.
Well, I mean, I'd rather have that, though, than just know the season's over before it starts.
Yeah, I can hear that.
I mean, like the Colorado Avalanche?
Right. Or, look at, our friends in the chat from Edmonton. I'm sure they have something to say about that, where I'm sure, they would have enjoyed some more playoff hockey than, maybe this year. We're kind of like, I understand that everyone wants to win. I get that. I want to see the Sharks win a cup. I don't think just making there and being is good enough, but it's nice to have an organization where, we're
at least in the hunt.
Right, exactly. Thank you, Chris.
Think of all the years as a Niner fan where we were dead on arrival, where, there you go, Gen X. There's
you mean like for like the last couple years?
Yeah, exactly. You know the hopelessness of being like, it's DOA, it's done. It's not even like,
but the whole thing
you barely want to watch one game, let alone every game.
But the best part of that over the last 2 years is that it's won me tickets for the Sharks.
Yeah. And okay, if there was some magic formula by which you could say, you know what, the Sharks can do this, but it'll require them to suck for the next 10 years, hell yeah, I'd take that deal. But that deal does not exist. It's just, it takes the right combination of the right team, the right factors, the right luck. Because, I said last year, the Sharks caught a lot of breaks in health and matchups, and they had a very good team at the same time, and it almost got them all the way.
Yep.
If there was some magic formula to do it once and then suck for 10 years, sure, I'd take that, but it doesn't exist. And in retrospect, you can always say, oh, yeah, I'd rather be the team that sucked mostly but won a cup, but there really isn't that. The option doesn't exist. You kind of just have to take what you're dealt, and I would rather, in looking forward to it as opposed to looking backwards, I'd rather tell me you have a shot every year.
Yeah.
Say, give me 10 good shots as opposed to give me 2 great shots. I would rather have that, because even with the great shots, you can have a great team and still lose. It happens. So, by the way, everyone, you should check out these lovely Teal Town USA shirts. I am wearing it now. Provided by Puckeye 14. You can check out the link in the description there and buy one of all of your own. Just a little Plug there. Yeah, I have shaved my playoff beard now. That's where I disappeared off to. So the season is officially over for me.
As they say, it's pretty. It's so pretty.
They are very pretty.
As seen on TV here, Anyway, I just jumped right back in that conversation, guys. Carry on.
Well, before that, let's welcome those of you who finished watching the NBC Sports California broadcast. They have gone off the air, and would be remiss without saying thank you to Brody Brazil, Randy Hahn, Jamie Baker, Dan Ruzanowski, Brett Hedekin. The broadcast crew there has been great on KFox and NBC Sports California, but also we welcome everyone to the show. I think we're getting close to another record here, folks.
121 right now, and a couple things on the chat. When is AJ shaving off his facial hair? Whenever the hell I please. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Cody James asking, why did we decide to rebrand to Teal Town USA? Because this is a badass logo. That's why.
Technology will live forever on in everyone's memories, but this says Sharks a lot more, because that was probably the real problem we had with technology. There's nothing about it said Sharks. There's nothing that said Teal, but this is awesome. It's a badass logo, and those of you who have Pucknology AD shirts, you have something. That's how you can really prove you're old school.
You can be like fan sense.
Exactly. I was around the days when it was called something different. Oh yeah.
And Gen X saying, because I made too much fun of them using Pucknology. Oh, Gen X. Yeah, I love to hate you, bro.
It is Gen X's fault. Everything is Gen X's fault. And Mike Nevis pointed out we did hit 139, which I was going to point out. Yeah, we have set a new record. We'll see in a few days what the exact record is. But it's awesome. Thank you, everyone, for watching. This is so awesome. But we don't get too caught up in the numbers in time, because let's talk. Let's talk Puck. What happens next? What happens is off season shit, guys. What's going on?
Well, run it around. Okay, between now and October, Ian, what is the big change? Like, what's your bold prediction? What is the big change between now and October?
Honestly, my bold prediction, the big change is nothing. That's my bold prediction. I think things should change. I'm just not sold that they will. Rocket earlier, was saying, like, look at Doug Wilson's safe.
Oh, I'm not saying Ian. I'm just looking for the bold prediction.
I have a question. Okay, if you want a bold move,
prediction is nothing changes. I think everything Thornton and Marlowe come back
and that is a bold prediction.
I think so. I think because you look at the way things go, like, I don't know. I just think it's. I think that's my bold prediction.
Dude, Chester Chivo, Teal Town USA After Dark will have more viewers tonight than fans on a Wednesday or on a weekday at SAP next year. That's so wrong. That's so wrong.
Wait, Jay in the chat, since the Oilers beat us, they have to give Remenda back.
Oh, I'll take that.
Oilers fans apparently would be okay with that. They apparently don't care for them much, or at least the ones we've talked to.
Chris, what's your bold one?
Honestly, my bold prediction is similar to Ian. I don't think there's going to be a bold move. I don't know if Thornton and Marlowe will both be back, but I mean, the thing is, a question I would have for most people who said, I want a big, bold move. What big, bold move do you want?
Hold on. No. Hold on. Dude, I'm looking for the false dichotomy right here. What is your prediction?
My prediction is I think we have a pretty uneventful offseason. I think one or both will depart, but there won't be any splash moves.
Give me one. Give me one bold prediction.
You're like, shit, dude, this is terrible radio.
It is, dude. It's horrible.
Even head, damn it.
It's
Everyone
horrible.
Gets fired.
Bold prediction, Joe Thornton comes back. He scores 4 goals in the preseason opener. He whips it out, and then he decides to retire right then because he's at the top of the mountain. Boom, done. There you go.
All right, Eric, your bold prediction.
We start a rebuild.
All right. Okay.
Damn.
My bold prediction, DeBoer is back. Wilson is back.
Whoa.
Hold on. Yeah, I know. I'm really going out there on a limb. But you know what? Neither Thornton or Marlowe are back.
Ooh.
I think even at this point, even Wilson is kind of like the window has closed. It's time to move on.
Jay McGregor in the chat, bold move, trade Pavelski. I could see that.
I don't think that's completely out of the question as some of us might think it is.
I don't think anybody, honestly, is out of the question. Other than honestly, I think the only people that are not out of the question. Now, granted, they're gonna protect people from the Vegas thing and blah blah blah. The only two people, I think there are two people that are not out of the question, and that's Jones and Burns. Burns based on contract, Jones based on who else?
Nothing in the pipe.
Exactly. I think those are the only two people that are kind of like, yeah, that's what you're gonna have on the team for the next 5 to 7 years. Everybody else.
But if they're on a rebuild, would you risk signing the goaltender of the year in the AHL and go with a Grosnick Dell as start of the rebuild and get value from Jones where you could get optimal value from him?
No, I love Troy Grosnick. Troy Grosnick's been an amazing story this year, but the numbers don't say that he's an NHL starter, period. Like, he's had a really good year this year, and I don't think that should ever be discounted. But we were a year ago, Dell completely basically ran him off the Barracuda. So you can't go with Grosnick. Grosnick's not an NHL starter. You just can't do it.
And a couple people saying,
yeah, we've seen this exercise before with Staylock. I would say Vlasic's pretty close to untouchable, but not quite.
Right. But then they're not this offseason, but the following offseason, they're going to need to make room for.
Oh, they're going to extend.
But that's Jones. What I'm saying is that Vlasic, final year of his deal, that's when you're going to get really good value for him. And if you're committed to rebuilding and doing, saying, you know what, dudes, we had a hell of a goddamn streak, only missed the playoffs once over the last 15 years. But you know what? It's time to start over. And in order to make that happen, we need to get value back. Vlasic would be a really solid piece that would get you tremendous value back.
I mean, yeah, I think it depends on how the approach he takes to rebuilding. If it goes the approach of sell off the high-end assets to try and accelerate a rebuild, as opposed to, Ian was saying this when I was kind of off shaving and listening to you guys, but yes, I did it while you guys were on air. But you were saying that the worry is we could revel in mediocrity, where we could be just good enough to occasionally qualify for the playoffs and just not bad enough to get a real high draft pick and, get the first overall pick for like 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 years in a row.
Right.
Oilers. I kid, guys. I kid. Yeah, I see we have a lot of Oilers fans in the chat tonight.
And they've been awesome.
Laurel with the hammer. Guys, okay. Here's the thing. If you're cool, we're not going to ban you just for being Oilers fans. Despite how much we want to. Just don't make your first thing sound trolly. Engage with us nicely first, and then that way...
And then tell us we're all...
Our mods know... Yeah, then you can start talking a little shit. Because that way our mods don't know that you're... will know that you're not just here to troll only. So just saying, some advice. From free life advice, guys.
Free life advice.
And that said, who... I don't know if it was one person or multiple guys... And I don't know if this was mentioned earlier before I came on. Whoever the fucking douchebag fans were that dropped popcorn on the Oilers bench at the end of the game, dude, go fuck yourselves.
Show some class, guys. Come on.
Yeah, Sharks fans are better than that.
Do we say go Oilers? Look at
the worst part of me impulsively laughs at that, but I'm like, nah, that's not how I want our fan base to be seen. That's not how I would behave, because I would have the idea and be like, no, I'm not 12 years old. That's not right. Okay. Like, don't
I want
do
to
that.
just comment on something too. Listen, guys, no one's cheering for the fucking Ducks. Go Oilers.
Yeah, heck yeah. I am rooting for the Oilers this round. I don't feel any particularly love, and here's the thing. I think there's a rivalry forming here to some extent, but I don't particularly hate the Oilers yet. I fucking hate the Ducks. Screw the Ducks. I hope they get swept. Go Oilers.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm go Preds right now. I don't know.
That's kind of the team I'm rooting for
in the West.
Because the frickin' Minnesota just decided to, we're going to go out in less games than the Sharks. Thanks, guys. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no, look at there's nothing that could make me cheer for Anaheim. Nothing ever cheer for Anaheim.
What if they were playing the Kings?
Then I cheer for a meteor.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I say. I'd cheer for the building to blow up or something.
Right.
Because I'm a cheery person like that.
All right, I'm going to tag out right now. It's 11:05, and I have to be at work in 4.5 hours. I have to get up for work. So quickly, a few people I need to thank. First off, within the Sharks organization, John Turturro for setting up not just one but two interviews with the technologists. That was awesome. Maria Brandoni, thank you so much for being an awesome ticket rep, and especially getting your word out on Twitter and for Game 4 for me and Rocket. Thank you so much. Patrick Hooper, who helped us set up the Sharks tweet up this year with the organization. Can't wait to expand on that next year for social media night. Let's see, Ben Guerrero's been helping us behind the back. Who was it? Scott Emmert that helped you out, AJ, when we got up into the broadcast booth.
He stepped away.
Of course. Among many of the Sharks organization.
Sorry,
Shalane,
guys. What? Well, no, I heard him say something. Yeah, of course.
No, it was Scott Emmert that helped you out, right?
Yes.
Just making sure he got
part of it. He was part of it. Yeah.
I mean, our friends in the media box, Shalana Goldman helping us out, Ross McEwen helping us out. If you haven't gotten the book, more power to you,
Mama.
Mama
Janny.
Definitely her.
Yeah, definitely her. She helped us out immensely. Janice Baker Kinney, and of course the broadcasters, all of them. Like I said, Randy, Biggs, Brody, Hetty, Ruzi. I think only Hetty hasn't been on the show in the history.
Yeah, we don't get along.
Yeah, so and of course to all our viewers, all 515 subscribers, to the over 100 that are watching right now. Thank you to all, and especially to Chris, dealing with all kinds of stuff on and off air. Ian, you ignorant slut, thank you so much.
I deserve it.
No, I'm kidding. No, but I mean, thank you for being very knowledgeable. AJ, for not listening
for
to me
drinking on air and stuff.
And
it's none of my business.
And not shutting up when I told you to shut up at Sharks Fest a couple of years ago.
It worked.
It worked. Yeah, I know. Rocket absolutely does a masterful job, on here, on Technologist, and doing our Instagram. Thank you very much. Gentry, who I think might be coming on a little bit later, after I get out of here. Landy, for being one of the turnkeys that kind of kicks in whenever we could. Kevin Lacey, Turtleneck. That's all we can say about him.
Kevin is all we can say about him.
He's on vacation. Landy's not able to be with us. Hockey Jerk isn't available to be with us. It's absolutely awesome job there. Nikki, when she came on a couple of times, Zach the Bear helping out on Writers Room /Teal Tinted Glasses, our writers, Felix, Daniel, Joe, Kevin as well, all the other ones that we've had this year. Thank you very much.
Do we need to get like a credits scroll for the end of this episode?
Hey, I'm making sure I don't forget anybody.
I'm gonna start playing. I'm just gonna start playing the music here.
I mean, he's right though. I mean, we need to acknowledge, because there's so many people that go into this behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, and of course everyone who watches. It's so awesome. Like, there's a reason why we do this. We don't make any money off this.
No.
We enjoy doing this, and it's
Speak for
entirely
yourself,
possible. Oh yeah, I forgot you're rolling in them fat stacks, but yeah, no, it's entirely possible because of people who support us, both viewing and behind the scenes and all that fun stuff. And I think also Eric should probably mention all the various guests we've had. We've had Trin recently, Dave from the Oilers Rig podcast, David. I'm just blanking on his last name right now.
Edmonton Journal.
Yeah, the Edmonton Journal. Sorry, what?
Staples.
Staples, right?
Staples, yeah, David Staples. Yeah, I mean, we've had some really cool people. I love, Eric was mentioning I do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I spend a lot of time bugging people on Twitter trying to get them to come on the show, and it's amazing how gracious and giving of time people are. When people who could probably just tell me to go screw myself because I have a couple hundred followers and they have several thousand. So appreciate all of them so much. And other guys we had on earlier in the season as well. You can check all those out under our little interviews playlist here. But yeah, that's my injection. Eric, I'll let you finish up.
No, you pretty much covered it all. So Trin, thank you very much. The Oilers Rig, Kurt Price, congrats, bud. You're going to the second round.
Hey, let's give it up. Let's give it up to Brody Brazil, dude. He came on to our preview show at the beginning of the year and basically fucking called this. He said the Oilers were his pick to be the team that knocked one of the California teams out. So I mean, Brody,
thanks a lot, Brody.
Spot on. Yeah, we're gonna blame you now, buddy.
Yes.
So this is
Hope the Athletics suck.
To jump in real quick
kidding.
here, four goals for Thornton in the chat says interesting stat from Reddit today. All three coaches eliminated their former teams.
Yep.
Oh,
that's
the last time that happened.
Interesting tidbit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I'll let you wrap up, Pug Guy, before you jump off.
So thank you to everybody who's been a part of Technology / Teal Town USA. Daryl, I know you've been here and there since the day now. Nick Neftepitz, can I cancel my Audible account? You didn't even have one. So, come on.
I forgot just really quickly too. Since the series unfortunately is now over, I do believe that we might get a check-in with Chris from Kevin Kurz.
Yep, Kevin did make a promise there to do a little on-air thing with me, so there will be a Kevin Kurz interview coming y'all way in the next few weeks. So we'll see how that goes. Someone's saying this sounds a little like an Oscar speech. Like, I know it feels a little bit that way, guys. I mean, like we're trying to make sure that we thank everyone because, like, really, it's all the people that put so much effort and helped us so much. We want to make sure they feel appreciated because without them, seriously, you couldn't do this.
Chris took his time to shave his face. I took my time to change into my jersey for the second round.
Bandwagoner.
Louise.
Yeah, I'm kind of on either the Preds bandwagon or the Leafs bandwagon here. Mostly the Leafs because I'd love to see the Capitals lose in the first round. That'd be hilarious. Anyway, Eric.
All right, and with that, thank you to everyone. You guys take it from here, and have a good night.
The one person we will not
Keep
think
it real.
is Gen X because
he's kind of a dick.
Yeah, no one likes that guy. I mean, yeah, we're whatever the opposite of thanking you is, that's what we're doing. I don't know. I can't imitate his little his voice there. He does his
it's
his
too
radio
too
voice.
deep.
Too radio too deep.
Unless he does his yath when he does his Charles voice. Then it's
that was fantastic. So I've mentioned this on Twitter already, and it's already on our little scheduled thing here on YouTube. But tomorrow we are doing a little fun thing. We're doing some Quiplash as we watch Capitals Leafs tomorrow. There'll be a handful of us on here. Some people in the audience can probably play too, unless we have managed to have 8 hosts on here, which I don't think we will. And if you all haven't played Quiplash, come check it out because that's a lot of fun. Basically, it's just be our way of letting off a little steam and getting casual. If you're easily offended, please don't watch because it's a game that's guaranteed to be offensive. It's just, that's how it goes. It's
and I
it's
should
like Cards Against
also
Humanity where you can fill in your own answers.
nice.
Nice.
I should also point out that by Monday there should be a final Pucknologists available, kind of a series and season wrap, and then we'll for the most part go on hiatus over the summer. We'll probably do an episode if something massive happens, like I don't know, the draft. We'll probably do something like that, and
Right.
But other than that, yeah, look for a Pucknologist coming out this week, just to kind of put a nice tidy bow on this shit show.
Yeah, yeah. And we'll be doing round by round previews here as the postseason progresses. We're not completely done for the season here. We're just going to go from a show every other night to once every week or two. We'll be doing a second round preview, a conference finals preview, a Stanley Cup preview to talk about it. Won't be as interesting as last year where we got to talk about the Sharks every time, but hey, what can you do? And we might inject a few interviews and a few fun things here and there. I'm still on the lookout, on the prowl for talking to people, interesting content. If we can make it happen, we will. But yeah, there we stuff. And then Ian, obviously, I think you have a few things as well, right?
Yeah, look, I don't take the summer off. I don't take the summer off, so I'll be around all summer with whoever feels like talking hockey with me. I don't care if it's August and it's 110 degrees outside. I can talk hockey any time of year. Teal Tinted Glasses, we are going to continue to cover the Barracuda playoff run. I'm looking to try and do a normal show somewhere in there as well. That's not just the Barracuda post game where we kind of do our writers' roomish thing. And you know what? We'll be doing podcasts all summer. We're obviously, we have Zach on board, so we're probably going to cover the draft like crazy, the expansion draft like crazy, free agency like crazy. I mean, we'll get you through the summer. So stay, subscribe to the channel. We will get you through, I promise.
Yep. It'll be NHL centric content, but it'll still have a definite Sharks inclination to it, so it'll always have the perspective of how does this matter to the Sharks.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I mean, with that, I think we've exhausted just about everything here.
Time to have a person or two on.
I was thinking like if you guys are up for it, we could do some viewer calls here.
I know Nick Neftepitz, friend of the show, the bastard. I took him to his very first game at SAP, and the fucking guy won an autographed Donskoy jersey.
Yeah, he passed you up on his first night as a.
Yeah, pretty much. Just like said, boom. He fucking get
on my level, AJ.
But dude, but tonight I'll give it up to him. He offered me a ticket to tonight's game that he won. Of course, he told me that at about 7:35. No, I'm kidding. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it. But Nick. I love you, bro. I forget your Twitter handle because it's like he's got one thing in the chat and he's got one thing on
Def here. Sharks Tips.
There you go, Def Sharks Tips. Okay, here it comes, bro.
Yeah, I think the Oilers deserve to win this series in the chat. They were the better team.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Like, I mean, the Sharks played them decently close in most of those games, but if they had a little more offense, I think the Sharks would have won the series. But they just
more health.
Yeah, a little more health, a little more offense. I mean, I think like I don't know if
maybe played
health,
a little less hockey. They played the big names played a lot of hockey since
Yeah, they're old. They're injured. They played a shit ton of hockey, and the offense just has not been that good this year. It just it for one reason or another, it has not had it, and it's not just the power play. I mean, in 5-on-5, it was.
Oh, did someone
spotty.
say power play?
Yeah, that's your. Did somebody say Vancouver?
Yes, exactly. Did somebody send power play? Yeah, the power play was off this season. Just a scotch.
Chester's already in the chat saying just a scotch.
Yeah, just a scotch.
That's the AJism. Yeah, that'll be when we eventually make an AJ T-shirt. It'll say just a scotch.
Yes. Hashtag just a scotch.
Yeah, I don't know.
For those of you who actually spell it correctly.
Design the angry Canadian robot T-shirts though. Those will be the big seller.
Top seller. Yeah.
Oh. Well, yeah, because they'll be made in Canada.
Oh man,
they'll be quality. I guess. I don't know. Do you guys make anything in Canada besides maple syrup, Ian?
No,
Bacon.
no, nothing at all.
And they don't even do bacon right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's called ham. Okay, that's not bacon. That's called ham.
I look at now. You're preaching to the choir.
I see someone named
They-
Pizza
let's-
Good was timed out by Dr. Jackal.
Name me, and I was going to say, and even music. Like, name me 3 good Canadian bands. I mean, other than Rush.
Bryan
'cause that's-
Adams,
No,
Rush.
fuck you. I said good.
Tragically
Okay.
Hip.
Rush, I'll give you. Tragically Hip, I'll give you. Name me the third one.
Isn't Bon Jovi Canadian?
No, but they were. But their biggest
Chat.
album was produced
Chat.
in Vancouver.
Chat, help us out. Did somebody say Vancouver?
Their biggest
Who are your
album.
favorite Canadian artists? Celine Dion. I don't know.
See? No.
Yeah,
Nickelback.
he's like, I said
I'm a
good.
big fan of Our Lady Peace, but I know they're not that huge in the States either.
I've heard
they
them.
had. They were a one-hit wonder here.
Wait, didn't you guys give us Nickelback?
Look at.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, right?
Oh, that invalidates anything and everything. It does not matter how many good bands
Bieber.
you produce.
Yeah, Justin Bieber kind of negates everything, dude.
Yeah, sorry.
look at-
Nickelback.
I'm not responsible for this crap. Okay. Yeah, Arcade Fire. There's another big man.
And yeah, Nickelback, Neil Young, Bieber,
Oh, I
Half
hated
Moon
Neil
Run,
Young.
Sloan,
Look, I'm
Tragically
sorry.
Hip,
I'm
Rush,
sorry,
Oz,
right?
Arcade
Look, guys.
Fire.
And Murray.
I apologize.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, Bare Naked Ladies. I didn't realize they were Canadian.
Yes, they are.
All right. One week was a fun song. And they do the theme song to Big Bang Theory, so I'm sure they're getting paid. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Drake. Okay, again, that's another one that
Oh,
invalidates.
Drake, that counts against you.
Oh
Like,
man.
man, Simple Plan. Yeah, we
You know what it is about Bieber and Drake?
Here, that was the Mike Brown theme song.
The thing about Drake and Bieber is the fact that they're both if you Google bandwagon fan, both of their photos come up.
Creedence Clearwater Revival, apparently.
Another group I never cared for.
The Weeknd.
Dude, Nick.
Ryan Reynolds.
Buddy,
Nick,
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 dude,
get
I
your butt
sent,
on it.
yeah, dude, we're vamping. I sent you the link like a half an hour ago. Where are you at, dude?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were vamping.
Yeah, like, dude, nobody wants to
Vamping
talk about
so
this
hard.
music
Why would we
bullshit.
get on about Canadian bands? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but if you want to get on here and chat with us for a little bit, just start tweeting at AJ. He's on a computer where he has Twitter. I do not have Twitter in front of me, so AJ can send you. You know, we'll try to get some of you on here. I don't. We're gonna go probably up to maybe 40 more minutes. I want to get
go
to
up
that
to
in
midnight.
reasonable time. I'm still jet lagged from my long East Coast expedition last week, so
Yeah, but it's Saturday night. I'll go long if need be.
it's like I'm going long.
Go long, bitches.
Some 41 apparently is from Canada. Yeah, no, we're educating everyone. Loverboy.
Oh, Loverboy. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'll give you credit for them.
Yeah, I mean, but there's some really bad strikes against you. Nickelback, Bieber, and Drake.
Okay.
Dude, you know what it is? It's Bieber, Drake, and Celine. Dude, those three are just whew.
That's brutal, man. That is brutal.
Oh, now Nick is saying, my bad, I'll hit you up in a minute. In a minute? Dude, you asked for the link like 20 minutes ago, and I sent it to you, fucker.
Oh, they had Steppenwolf? Oh, Avril Lavigne? Avril Lavigne isn't horrible.
Oh, Shark Central at SJ Sharks NHL wants to hop on. Well, okay, give us a minute. We're still. I sent the link out to 2 people. We're waiting to see if either one of them pop on. While we're waiting, are there any questions in the chat?
Yeah,
That are like serious. Let's get off the music
let's
bullshit.
get back on the
Blame
hockey
Canada,
here,
blame
so I don't have to
Canada.
feel so.
Which I agree.
by-
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? Real quick, how are your feelings about tomorrow versus the Heat?
I'm feeling good. I think that the Heat are definitely going to bring a better game back, and they're gonna play a better game against the Barracuda tomorrow. But you know what, the Barracuda, they let a few too many shots on Grosnick, some really nice shots on Grosnick. And the thing about the Barracuda this year is, anytime they do something stupid in a game, like if there's a trend in a game, they generally have it fixed by next game. So I'm hoping that they'll look better. And since Timo didn't play tonight, I guarantee Timo's in the lineup tomorrow, and Sorensen will obviously be joining him. I don't know if he plays or not. They might give him a night off, but Timo for sure should be back in the lineup.
Sweet. And is there anybody
Bob
who
Humphrey says
really
they start
stood
talking-
out after game one?
Yeah, the game one, really, it was the veterans that really stood out in game one. Ryan Carpenter had 2 goals, and it was really, Tim Heat, even though he's new to the Barracuda, I mean, he's seen things. He's he's been around the game for a while. So, Heed and Carpenter really got the job done. So I'm looking forward to seeing more from the kids tomorrow.
And O'Regan, LeBanc.
LeBanc looked good. He had a really quiet but responsible game. Not bad, but not, he wasn't stealing the show, but he was good.
Cool.
Jessica asking, Couture and Hurdle new leadership roles soon? I tend to think so. What do you guys think?
Yeah, we got to see what happens next. I mean, there's so much that we just don't know. I mean, we could argue about whether Thornton and Marlowe are back, and until we really see what happens with those guys, it's really hard to say what's next, because I mean that's a big piece of the puzzle.
I was going to say Couture. I'd consider Hurdle. I don't know if he's going to be here past the end of his deal next season.
I mean, I saw a lot of good things from him in the playoffs, and maybe next year he takes a step forward. I mean, it's kind of trying to figure out what he is. And I mean, a lot of the people who follow the Oilers and like the Oilers that I've talked to have complimented Hurdle and said that they think he's a hell of a player. And
yes.
We're scrutinizing him under a microscope here. I mean, we see all the good, all the bad, and I don't know. I tend to think that he has a future here. Jose Chavez saying Hurdle has a language barrier. It's true. I mean, I would think there's probably is precedent, though. There probably are a good number of leadership types that have not been great English speakers. I mean, if leadership is one part action, one part talk, I don't know, Ian, what you think? Can you think of any precedent for that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to ban someone before Laurel did.
you can't beat Laurel. Laurel's the fastest.
I know.
Has the fastest wrench in the business here.
He does. He really does.
Fastest trigger in the West.
Oh man. Yeah.
I would imagine there's some kind of precedent. There's probably been captains that haven't spoken the best English before.
Well, I know that Saku Koivu was the captain of the Canadiens and he didn't speak French. Does that count?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that probably didn't go over very well. I remember it was at the Hockey Hall of Fame. They were talking about like the forget his name, who was like the first non-Canadian captain of the Maple Leafs.
Salming?
Who?
Boreas Salming.
Was that who it was? That might be a man, but saying it was a really big freaking deal that he wasn't Canadian and all that. It was kind of. Mm-hmm. I see we have Gen X caller. You're on the air.
I'm waiting for hi. do your Charles Nelson Riley.
Where's the Eric Tinfoil hat?
Told. Not my friend with Andy Dufresne. But them San Jose Sharks, they march like the Penguins. Not so well in the water. I'm Morgan Freeman.
Oh, we love you, Gen X.
Yeah.
This is why we put up with you. No, I kid. We love you, even though you have terrible taste in beer.
Oh, not this again.
Well, of course.
Now, Chris, you know what a dead horse is? Beating that horse. And you keep beating it and beating it. Now, Chris, I don't know. Sometimes a horse, it's just dead.
Yep.
And ain't no man of beating it is going to get it any deader, Chris.
Very good. Very good.
Oh, my God.
You have any other words of wisdom for us, Gen X?
As God, fire Doug Wilson. That man don't know hockey from a hole in the ground.
All right, then. Was that it?
I don't know what else there is to say, AJ.
Okay, then. Well, I guess time to send the link to somebody else, and thank you for calling.
Thank you, caller.
That's right, AJ. Get busy tweeting or get busy dying.
God. Oh, my God. Oh, shit. We got to get Alden on here.
Cheryl asking if this is after dark.
Nope.
Kind of yes, because
Kind of
usually
yes, no.
when there's a series ender, we tend to go after dark. well after dark on the normal show because
Right.
we run it long, especially since it's the end of the season. Have a little more fun here and all that.
So we need to go after after dark.
Yeah, way after dark. Laurel's saying that
Yeah.
lack of sleep due to the new baby is making Gen X loopy. He thinks, he thinks he's Morgan Freeman now, guys.
I keep seeing Thornton Marlowe in the chat. Look I don't know what happens with them. That's the big question mark. And that really, once I kind of have some thoughts on that, I mean, I think it becomes a lot more easier to figure out what the team's going to do next.
Well, we all have kind of conflicting opinions. Chris both you and Chris think that really nothing's going to be different, whereas myself, I think that they're both going to be gone. And with that, we bring on a first-time caller. Caller, what is your name on the chat there?
Hey, it's Alex.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, brother? I think we've had you on before, haven't we?
Yeah, I think I was there for, was it fan appreciation? One of the two. It's been a while, though. I mean, I'd rather join you on a better night, but this will have to do.
Oh, well. What can you do? Besides score on the power play.
I don't really think that, if I'm not really a big fan of Hurdle. I mean, he has a minus 18 this season. So I don't think he's been really proving his worth just in terms of his talent and production. And I know plus 18 is plus minus ratings are not really the best way to go, but maybe he's just not the superstar we think he is.
What is plus?
Yeah, I would definitely not call him a superstar yet. But I mean, I need to dig a little more deeper into the numbers because, like I said, plus minus is not the best gauge. I mean, Alex Ovechkin had a minus 39 a few years ago, and I don't think anyone's going to judge him off of that.
I'll trade him for Ovechkin.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take Ovechkin as minus 39 just fine.
Yeah. I thought the Sharks should have won Game 2, and that was the breaking point of the series when they went 0 for, let's just say 30 or 0 for it felt like 0 for 30.
Well, hold on. Game 2, that was 0 for 6 on the power play and giving up 2 shorties, right? If anything, I thought they could have won Game 3. I don't know about Game 2, dude. Game 2 was just a shit show.
Felt like they should have won one of those two.
Well, they won this game that they shouldn't have, and I thought, well, Game 2 is the game I thought they should have won.
Actually, the game I thought they should have won was Game 5.
Well, Game 5. I think everyone kind of agrees they blew that one. But I don't know. I don't know what they do with Thornton or Marlowe, but I don't think
it's called Spanish Archer, bro. Elbow.
I mean, if you guys have already kind of said it a bunch of times, I think it's redundant at this point. But what do they do going forward with Marlowe? Because I think Marlowe's probably the one they keep instead of Thornton, just because Marlowe's has been with the franchise since day one.
And that's what pisses me off. That's the one reason why they're going to keep him around.
I don't know. I think in terms of production, you can make a much better case than you could have a year ago. Because a year ago, it was of course, it's got to be Thornton between the two. But Marlowe's been decently productive this season, as Janice will point out, in a contract year. We know.
Yeah. But if they're going to take him, though, that better be the fattest hometown discount on the planet.
That tends not to happen with free agency, though. I don't know. He proved it this year, but you have to start questioning also Thornton, just because he did have some sort of a sprain or something to that degree on his right leg after was it Nashville or was it a Dallas game or after he sprained his knee?
Against the Flames, I don't remember who was against.
But after the injury.
I mean, also, the Sharks know how injured these guys actually were all season, because it wouldn't surprise me to find out if Thornton was playing with something. I think he might have been playing with something all year, because he never seemed to be himself all year long.
But that's probably mostly due to the World Cup of Hockey, which I'm not too sure they're going to do that again. That seemed like it had more negatives to teams like Chicago, big market teams also. Yeah.
I should ask Ian, probably better who all played in the World Cup and didn't. Which, as far as the teams that were heavily represented, how have any of them done particularly well in the first round here?
This Pittsburgh team, I think, is done okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, the Penguins
That team's
have
done
done okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they've done okay. I think the Rangers did okay. Just a
Hold
little
on.
bit.
Charles Nelson, has Pittsburgh done okay?
Pittsburgh, I believe Pittsburgh's done fabulously.
That's not the answer I was looking for. I was looking for yes.
Yes. And I believe Team TNA has done very well too.
Yes.
Yep.
TNA.
Team
Absolutely.
North America.
Team
TNA
North
for
America,
life,
best.
boy.
It'd be funnier if we could hear you better.
He dropped off. You know what? I think he was on a phone.
That was his mic drop moment there.
Yeah, that was it.
Perfect timing too.
That was great mic drop right there.
Boy. Oh, there he is.
What? Oh shit, he came back. Oh dear God.
Oh, fuck this guy again.
What is right? I'm Morgan Freeman, the new voice of your GPS system. In 200 feet, turn left. What is left? Left is a direction. Right there by that oak tree out in the field.
Oh my God.
I just watched Shawshank last night too.
Uh-oh, I think we lost. I don't buy the World Cup a hockey excuse for being tired. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't care how old they are. I really don't. It's not an excuse to be tired. It's just not. These guys trained the entire off season. They played a tournament at speed during where they would normally be playing.
Yeah.
Hockey.
Well, and PD, our buddy Alden Tanaka on the Twitter machine letting us know that DeBoer hinted in the post-game presser that folks will be surprised when they find out what injury Jumbo's been playing with over the course since the knee injury. Look, I'm just saying that's what's on there. Don't shoot the fucking messenger,
I'm not shooting
buddy.
the messenger. I'm sorry. I'm not shooting the messenger.
And we all know they're all playing super injured. They're all like they even had one guy who played a whole game dead or something.
Right.
Didn't the Onion run an article like that where it turns out some hockey player was dead the entire time? Or
Yeah.
I thought that was Gregory Campbell a couple of years ago for Boston.
Right.
Or
Up until game 4, I thought it was
no, it was
Mikhail
Alexei
Bodker.
Semenov for the Sharks years ago.
I thought it was Bodker up until game 4.
Just
To
because he was
answer
a
your
stiff
question
doesn't
earlier.
mean he was dead, AJ.
Right.
Just saying.
What's the contract with Bodker? Just curious.
3
Has
more
3 years.
fucking years at $4 million per.
So this
Now-
would be 2 more years, and then we could trade him, or is that?
It's 3. No, we have him for 3 more years.
But
you
like, go ahead.
No, I'm
Why
just
is
saying
that
that you could.
tomorrow?
I mean, I think that you could expansion bait him. I don't know if. I don't think
luck
Vegas
with
is
that.
fighting on that.
In
you
fact,
could
we have
expansion bait
we have 110 people watching us now. I'm assuming that a decent amount of you are Sharks fans. There might be some Oiler fans on here wanting to know why we aren't crying, and I get that. But yeah, if you want to start the GoFundMe, I'll donate to the Buy Bodker Out Fund. I'm totally down with that.
Yeah, $2 million over the next.
I had a really good discussion in the chat earlier with an Oilers guy, Jordan, about Bodker being traded. And it was actually a really good discussion because he brought up an interesting point that there are teams with cap room that might want to take a flyer on him. My only problem with that is to take a flyer on him, the Sharks are going to want an NHL ready player in return. Nobody's going to trade you Bodker for somebody younger than Bodker that can play today and eat all $4 million of that salary. Especially, and Arizona's not going to give up any of their youth. Buffalo's not going to give up any of the youth. So now you're talking next level teams. Would Carolina do it? Carolina might, but to get an NHL ready player back, Carolina's going to want cap space to be held. So they're going to want to retain salary. You think the Sharks retain salary in any deals?
No. I'm looking for a bag of pucks and maybe a new net in this deal, to be honest.
So in other words, if we want to get rid of him, we're going to have to give up some of our lovely kids from the Barracuda, probably.
Yeah, you'd have to make something to make that medicine go down.
So who has been more disappointing, Ward
Bodker.
or
AJ.
Bodker?
Bodker.
AJ.
Easily
Yes, sir.
Bodker.
Yes, sir.
AJ.
Yes, sir.
AJ's been the most disappointing.
Yes.
Easily the most disappointing.
I don't
Yes,
know
sir.
about that.
Look how fast he flipped to the Rangers.
Look how shit look at his shit plus minus. AJ's plus minus on shows is terrible. And his Corsi is shit too.
Exactly.
He's -7 tonight.
Get your heads out of the spreadsheet, kids.
Yeah.
I am
Make
watching
it
the
into
game.
spreadsheets.
I am watching the game, and I'm seeing you in a Rangers jersey, and not even one of the better looking ones.
This is the best looking alternate
even.
jersey ever.
Not even close.
Love
AJ
this.
does lead the show in Funwick, though.
That's true.
That's true. That is true.
Better than the Sharks black.
And AJ's power play is terrible. Yes. No, this is definitely better than the Sharks black. Fuck those
You're
black jerseys.
crazy.
I'm so tired of those fucking black jerseys.
Womp womp.
Oh, so tired of the black jersey.
Well, speaking of jerseys, you can finally put to bed that the jerseys were the issue because it's going to be a whole brand new jersey next year.
Oh, God.
Yes, sir.
So the
Thank God.
jinx is over, right?
I'm actually kind of excited to see what they're going to come up with because I'll tell you those the hockey, the tournament jerseys, those things fit really, really well. Much better than the normal jersey. So hopefully that all fits well. They look good. I'm a little nervous about the stripes down the under the armpit down, but other than that, I think they'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. Really, this is what we're talking about, new jerseys? Like, I want a new front office and a new scouting group, and we're talking about fucking jerseys?
You should want also a new AHL head coach, too.
Is Nick Teppets ever getting his ass on?
I have no idea.
Or we have to be stuck
Dude,
with these two motherfuckers all night long.
Dude, I was ready. I was ready to go full blown Allen Iverson right there. It's like, man, the team just crashed and burned. We talking about jerseys. We talking about jerseys.
Don't make me bring out Kermit the Frog, Chris.
No, we need some the paranoid puck guy thing at the Eric with the tinfoil hat.
I got a question in the chat. How do we feel about the Olympics? Whatever.
I
over it.
could not give two shits about the NHL participating in the Olympics. I prefer that they don't because I hate having those 2 weeks off.
I think the Olympics are so important to promote the game. But if NBC is going to schedule or promote the game or have the highlights at the 9 o'clock hour where nobody's going to watch it, then what's the point of it?
Here's my issue with that, though. How many seasons since like '98 the NHL has participated in the Winter Olympics?
Since the America, I think
94 Nagano.
Yeah.
So
Okay, there you go.
Or not?
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, the Sharks, the NHL has been participating in the Olympics since that time, and they talk about it helps grow the game and blah blah blah. Do you really see that big of an impact? It's like I hear it every fucking 4 years with the World Cup. Like, oh my God, it was such a fantastic showing by the USA, and this is really going to grow soccer, and it does nothing for the fucking sport.
Okay, hang on. Let me ask you one question. I disagree with one side of your statement. Does it help grow the game of hockey? Yes. Does it help grow the NHL? No.
Why? Right. Okay. Well, that's okay. So you cleared up what I meant.
Going.
Okay.
That's
you cleared
why
up
they're
what I
not
meant.
going.
Good. And so we have a new guest with us. Looks like Rob Iman has joined from the chat.
Hi AJ, how's it going tonight?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Enjoying a nice cold beer.
Hey now.
Like my friend Rob Iman.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
Kona.
All right.
Kona Big Wave.
Uh-oh. Wow, dude, did you all notice when he said Kona Big Wave, all of a sudden Chris said like this. He said, I'm just like not going to mention about that right now. I'm just not going to talk about it. What?
Chris,
I wonder how many.
You want me to comment on every? Do you want me to comment or don't you want to comment?
It's beer. But as soon as he mentioned a beer, all of a sudden the finger went up on the chin and you were like,
Oh, I needed a beer since the start of the game tonight.
I was drinking beer since the start of the game tonight.
Chris is too busy thinking about the next recipe at his paleo vegan tofu restaurant that he's looking at.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
A kitchen filled with left-handed Guatemalans.
Well, what do you guys think of Danny O'Regan next year being on the Sharks?
And that is an Ian question, so I will go get a beer.
I think O'Regan definitely has an inside track to be on the Sharks. Again, it depends on what happens in the off season, But I think Danny O'Regan definitely has. He's going to have a shot. He's going to get a shot to make that roster. Obviously, expansion draft stuff like that is going to have an impact there. But I feel like he's gonna be in.
Let me ask you two a question then.
Okay.
Do you have a top 12 where full of bottom 6 guys, or do you have a top 6 and a bottom 6? Because that's what O'Regan is. Is he a bottom 6 guy or is he a top 6 guy?
I think he's a middle 6 guy.
How many middle 6 guys do you currently have on the
Too
Sharks
many.
roster?
Too many, but I mean, I think he's still going to break through. I think that if there's a spot for him, I think he breaks through and takes it.
Okay.
I think the one thing about O'Regan that because he always plays center for the Barracuda, and he's played center when he comes up, but he can play wing too. And I think he could be really effective on a wing. I don't know if he, when you get him into like the setup, some of the higher lines, like a second, third line role, if he was up in the second line role, I'm not saying he's there yet, but I don't know if he has the size to be a number 2 forward in the NHL, to be completely honest, like a number 2 center in the NHL. But he could be dangerous on the wing though.
Throw size away. Look at the size down in Calgary. Look at the size down in Pittsburgh. Look at the size down in even Edmonton. Is size really that big a deal anymore?
I don't know. I feel like Malkin's pretty huge.
Malkin is, but is Crosby's built? So let's take those two and throw them out the window.
Sure.
So you're down in your bottom 6, and look at their wingers. Even look at the wingers that are playing up top with Crosby. Are they big?
No, that's what I feel like. I feel like if you put him on the wing, he'd be fine because I think that wing you could still play. Look at Johnny Gaudreau.
Okay, but we go back to the answer to my previous question of you've got a logjam of bottom 6 guys, and that is all you've got in the system, right?
Yeah, I mean that's probably fair.
So who gets kicked out at the NHL level to make room for him?
You could replace. I think that if you needed to, because the thing that everyone needs to remember is that you have to, like, certain guys that you expose in the expansion draft have to meet a criteria to be exposed. So you could, the Sharks might have to throw a guy like Chris Tierney out there.
That's fine, but you're only losing one player.
Sure, I'm saying that if Chris Tierney's that guy and he gets taken, then Danny O'Regan could easily fit into that spot and probably be better.
Okay, so long as you have a place to put him potentially.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. I will get out of your way then.
Okay.
What do you think of Kevin LeBanc in the offseason? What does he need to work on?
His turtleneck game, because we were all Kevin.
Yeah, he needs his turtleneck game on point. Kevin LeBanc, I don't really have much of a problem with Kevin LeBanc's game. I think that part of it was, I think he just, it was his first pro season. The jump from junior to the NHL is a big one, and I think he just got a little mentally spent through the season. And I think that that's a learning experience for him. The kid's good. The kid's got the goods. I think he's fine.
How about Timo Meier? What does he need to work on in the offseason?
Timo Meier needs to do what he did this playoffs and less of what he did in the regular season. I think Timo, he's a guy that I think could definitely be in your bottom 6, maybe even middle 6 next year. He's obviously he's going to have to take better shots. I think that's the one thing that Timo Meier has to do, is he has to take better shots, period. And if he can get a more NHL shot selection, then I think Timo Meier is going to be fine. But if he keeps the shot selection, he's just going to be a bottom 6, whatever. He'll become Zach Cassian.
All right. Say that Marlowe and Thornton don't come back. Do you think that Wilson might go after a few 1-year contracts for free agents?
Maybe. I haven't really looked at the free agent class this year. Anything's possible. I mean, once I think once we figure out what they're doing with Thornton and Marlowe, I think you get a better example, a better idea of what they're going to do going forward. We figure out what this team actually is. If they walk away from Thornton and Morrow, this is a tomorrow team. Suddenly, it's not a today team anymore. I don't know if they're a today team if they keep Thornton and Marlowe, to be completely honest. But if they lose them, then they're definitely a tomorrow team, and at that point it would be interesting. But without knowing what they do, it's so hard to because that's such a big piece of the puzzle that if you don't, without knowing for sure what's going to happen there, I mean, we could speculate all night on different scenarios.
Well, and you think about as well that if Thornton and Marlowe are gone, that frees up a ton of cap room.
No, actually, it really doesn't.
Well, it feels like it does.
Well,
it's only because they're 800-pound gorillas on your back right now because of those beards.
How much do you think attendance suffers next year?
Don't get me started, bro.
Cheers.
That's an AJ question.
Before it was an Ian question, now it's an AJ question. No, I think the attendance is going to suffer bigly. Honestly, I think because you've got those glass seats going up from like $130 or whatever to some of them $350, $400. It's oh my God, it's insane. So. And you see this exit here. And if the Warriors win another champion, I know they're different sports and everything like that, but everybody loves a winner, especially in the Bay Area. And it'll just give Sharks fans one more reason to go to another team and say, you know what, because especially if you look at the Warriors, whatever it was 6-7 years ago, they completely just tore the front office down. I mean, everything from top to bottom. Started over, and within 3 or 4 years, and there were fans that were booing like outrageously when the new owner came out and blah blah blah, and they were booing the hell out of him. And 3 years later, they were all on their knees to blow him because they brought him a championship. If the Sharks are able to pull something like that off, great. But no, dude, I think attendance is. We have gone are the days of the easy sellouts, and we've seen that since the reverse sweep. And next year, it wouldn't surprise me if they only now. Of course, there is scanned attendance and actual, purchased tickets, and obviously they go by purchased because that's what we always hear.
That's what they do at the Giants games all the time.
Yeah, it's, you'll see rows empty, but they'll announce a sellout because those tickets were in fact purchased. They just went unused. But, throughout most of the 2000s, the aughts, up until that reverse sweep, it was rare to go into the tank and you might see a couple empty seats here and there. You didn't see rows of seats. And you're seeing...
You would sometimes.
If it's like Columbus on a Tuesday, sure. But you're not seeing patches of empty seats against Detroit on a Saturday. And you saw that.
I think also...
saying row.
Yeah, but
thank you for stop saying row.
Yeah,
I was
but also...
getting empty on my drink.
Yeah, but... but like TV ratings have been down 10% this year, so I think it's mostly the NHL brand is not holding up as it last 5 years or so. And I don't want to say the Sharks were the issue, but like ratings were also down for the Stanley Cup Finals. So I think NHL is not doing a good job at marketing the brand and the game and its superstars.
I just hope they don't start trying to speed up the game to catch millennials' attentions like they've done with baseball.
It's already happening.
Oh, yeah, but that's so retarded. Like,
it's already a thing.
Show me. I know, but that's what I think is so funny. It's like, we have to catch millennials' attentions because the game is too slow. Bitch, show me another sport where they switch players as the game is happening.
Yeah, the problem, hockey doesn't have that problem. Baseball, they do need to speed that shit up.
Oh, yeah.
Really damn slow. Okay, that's one like people. I guess some people are old, are very stuck in their ways and all that with that. But they do need to speed that up. Hockey, how can you really speed? Okay, don't throw a suggestion they might take them because it'd be terrible. They'd ruin the game that way.
Get rid of the blue line. That's what I would do. Get rid of the blue line.
No, you guys are missing it. You guys are completely missing it.
Get rid of all the lines. No trapezoid either.
Completely in case. No.
Or Wizoid.
Completely in case the playing surface like a bubble hockey and there are no out of bounds.
So So it's like indoor soccer essentially.
That would solve that puck over glass issue.
You could actually start using a sort of long alley-oop where you shoot it from behind your net onto the glass and have it travel up and over the bubble to the other end.
But you know what though? Getting back to that question, Alden on Twitter actually asking, and great point. How many of this is the first time we've ever seen the Sharks do like student night, where it was $20 tickets for a student ID. The Sharks had never done that before.
No, they have done it before. Trust me.
Not nearly to the extreme that they've done it. I mean, you're seeing a lot more promotion now for stuff like that. Before, you'd see promotions like that maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago where they were actually like specifically like on campus doing that. It wasn't like a massive push. It's insane. And like I said, even if you were to go on StubHub 5 years ago for a first round playoff game, you're seeing tickets. I mean, StubHub
at least 100.
Yeah. Oh, minimum. But and like you would see shit like on Craigslist or on eBay or whatever, and you're seeing tickets that in the regular season are $68 or whatever, and they're going for $110. And now you were seeing tickets in the first round that were $72 seats going for $60.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was in Vancouver, not Vancouver, but Toronto, just to go to any game in the regular season there before the playoff season started, it would have cost me like $150. Granted, it was right around the end of the season when they were in a playoff push, but still, it's it's a completely different world there.
Well, and let me follow that up too. Is John Totoro, we did 2 interviews with him this year on the Pucknologist, and he even in the second interview with me and Eric even pointed out that now with this whole new digital ticketing system that they have, that they can basically track everything you do. And one of the things that they can track is if you're a season ticket holder, if you go to sell those seats and you try to sell them because it's all digital now, they can track how much you're selling them for. And they basically have delineated a threshold. And if you go under that threshold, it kicks in a clause in the contract that they can take your season tickets away from you if you sell them too low because you're undervaluing their brand.
Wow.
This is because SAP is watching you. They are watching you carefully. You will not sell the tickets for less than they are worth.
That's exactly
now repeat after me. The Sharks tickets are valuable and I like them very much.
There are 4 lights. You will agree that there are 4 lights or you will not get your season tickets renewed.
Go Crosby.
Repeat after me. It's 365 or GTFO.
Oh, jeez, here we go.
You're going to get us caught in trouble again.
999 AJ is 316 or GTFO.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. I'm getting
We
another.
need to start wrapping up here.
Well, I was going to say, I hate to do it. I think, let's see. Al, I think we need you to drop off. You were the first one in, so you got to be the first one out so we can try to get one more person in here.
No problem, guys.
Hang on. I was the first one in.
You was the first one in, so you should be the first one into the oven and out.
And I can say like my friend Andy Dufresne. So long as you have hope, that's all you need.
Who's going to be in bigger purgatory next year, LA or Chicago? Who's going to be in the bigger purgatory as in terms of contracts?
I think LA.
Is a little from column A, a little from column B.
I would say Chicago, with Marian Hossa still being that contract.
Yeah.
I would say it was worth it though for all the.
I mean, it worked out for them, yeah.
Okay, well here, let me ask you guys this one, and I'll start with you, Chris. What's the upset that you're more shocked about? Nashville over Chicago, or St. Louis over Minnesota? Because we also Minnesota was in it to win it at the deadline.
Chicago has got to be the bigger one of the two to me. I mean, I'm not surprised they lost as much as they got swept.
Mm-hmm.
I knew St. Louis was good, and I totally believe they could win that series. I just I didn't think I thought the Preds could probably win that one, but I didn't think they would just rip Chicago to shreds like that. Just did not expect that.
I thought St. Louis was decent, and they still had a lot of talent from last year. I mean, this was a team that made it to the conference finals, and it worked out for them. But frankly, I just wasn't surprised about the goalie situation. And I guess for one round or at least two, it's hold up. But we'll see what happens against the Ducks, or would it be the Oilers? Who would the St. Louis Blues play?
They will play the Predators.
The winner of the West.
Predators.
Oh, yeah, they're going to play the. Oh,
that's going to be a great series.
I think
so too.
Brittany's not going to be as good in this next round.
You can't really say that.
Randy's inconsistent.
I mean, Tarasenko is still one of the best stars in the league. He doesn't get a lot of credit, but he's
when he's not facing Marc-Edouard Vlasic, of course.
When he's not stealing NHL covers, game covers.
Oh,
He's still better about that one.
So I freelanced for a couple of video game outlets, and the week before the cover announcement, I asked one of the producers of NHL, it's like, so Pavelski's going to be the cover, right? You're not going to bullshit me on this. He's like, just wait on next week. I'm like, don't even dare do that to me. Oh, man.
Do you think John Gibson gets exposed against Edmonton?
Gibson, he's the Ducks.
Yeah, I think the Ducks are going to get exposed against Edmonton in general.
See, I don't know about that because I don't think the Ducks have a Vlasic type guy. I mean, you look at it for everything that was said and done. McDavid was shut down in this. He was projected, his over-under in points for this series was 7, and he only got 3. And a lot of that had to do with Vlasic. And I don't feel like the Ducks have that Vlasic guy. Now, Fowler's supposed to come back this round, but I don't know. I think McDavid could go off. God damn it! I feel like the Oilers could take the Ducks. And a lot of it being is that they don't have that Vlasic on their team that's going to shut down McDavid.
Will the winner of Ottawa and Boston be the warm body for the Rangers?
God, I
Basically,
hope so. I hope so.
I expect the Rangers to run over whoever wins that one.
Lundqvist has just played out of his mind in that first round.
And you know what? And he's played out of his mind after having such a subpar season.
Yeah.
That's the thing that really goes to show you that playoffs are a different animal.
Then that's my brother's team right there.
I mean, Martin Jones wasn't having the best season last year, and then he got hot the last week.
Jones is just good in the postseason. He's just a better postseason goaltender than a regular season goaltender for some weird reason.
He was good. He was good this season.
He had some ups and downs. Martin Jones is. I think we get from Martin Jones what we're going to get from him. I don't think that Martin Jones is a truly elite goaltender, but he's good enough that he can win you games. I mean, I don't think you need. Look at all these teams that have supposedly elite goaltenders. Where's Lundqvist Stanley Cup? Where's Price's Stanley Cup? Where's Holtby Stanley Cup?
Especially Price, yeah.
Right. You don't need an elite goalie to win. It helps, but you don't need it.
Yeah.
And I think
hello, Antti-Niemi.
You need a good goalie who can play really well for enough time to get you there, and a team in front of you that can.
Right, and Martin Jones, look at he's fine. Is he perfect? No, he has some issues. He has issues.
Goaltender needs goal support.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what didn't happen in this series. But we gotta
remember Jones. Yeah, Jones only has 1 year left on his deal, so he may not be here.
They'll re-up him.
Yeah, he'll get re-upped. So I know we were talking about having someone else on here, but we need to wrap up here because I actually got to get out of here soon.
Yeah,
I have the controls here. So
for some reason, Nick's deal isn't working. So we thanks for coming on, Rob. Thanks for coming on, Al. Have you guys drop off now so we can wrap it up.
All right, keep it teal.
Later, guys. Keep it fresh and all that stuff. Yes. Alrighty, guys. Just let's do final thoughts for the Shark season. AJ, go.
Oh, well, I mean, it's like literally you just want to bullet point it with the drum and just go, power play and blah blah blah. But I mean, hey, I tweeted it out. I'll get out the boombox and John Cusack this and say anything. I still love you, and I'll be out there in October, waiting to get back in and do it all over again. And hopefully, we go further than we did this season. I still love you, even though you make it so easy to hate you sometimes. But I still love you, man.
Yeah.
Ian, what say you?
You know what? It was an interesting ride. It wasn't the most amazing ride that I've ever been on, but it was a ride nonetheless. And I'm just glad that I have quality people that I get to enjoy the ride with. So obviously, thanks to everyone.
Who are those
under
people?
The Teal Town tent. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Who checks us out regularly. And like I said, I'll be around all summer. So if you're looking for a hockey fix, I'll have you covered.
Yep. Like you said, thank you, everyone. We're not going to run down the list again. Eric did that earlier. If you want to see everyone we thanked, if you should be thanked, we probably thanked you. If we didn't, I'm sorry. Seriously, thank you, everyone, for watching. This has been awesome. Like, we've been sitting at over 100 viewers for like an hour now, and that's incredible. That is amazing. So thank you, everyone who watches. Thank you, everyone who supported us. Whether it's modding the chat or giving us advice, helping us out, anything. Check out the lovely Teal Town USA shirts. You can see the link in the description here. Some sweet Teal Town swag.
Also, big thanks to the mod team. God.
Yes. Thank you,
Laurel.
Laurel, fastest wrench in the business, and always a very adamant supporter of the show. Cannot say enough good things about Laurel. She has been absolutely awesome, and as well as Gen X. I give him shit, but he's a good guy. He does great things. They're helping out, and his smart ass is pretty funny sometimes. So I said, I don't want to run down everyone, but thank you, everyone on our little crew here that helps make this happen, because we don't do 88 post games this season without the help of a lot of people, and a lot of people getting on here and doing even nights we don't really feel like it sometimes. Thank you all so much. Like Eric said earlier, thanks to everyone at the Sharks. First season we've ever gotten press credentials, and that's a big moment for us. So hey, seriously, thanks to everyone at the Sharks. Thanks, John Datora. Fuck, I don't know. Yeah, just it's been a fun ride. So with that, we'll wrap up for the last time, the last post game this season. This is broadcast number 88. We are broadcast number Brent Burns wrapping up here. The Sharks lose the series 2-4. We will see you again between now and next season, but mostly when it comes to these broadcasts, we will see you next season. Have a good night, everyone.